My dearest friends, I'm Kaya Singemari from Heart to Heart, and this is the first edition of the Heart to Heart talk. I'm really excited, nervous. I'm a bit confused as well. And I have a super beautiful guest, Antoinette Thompson from To Become One. Do you want to introduce yourself, Antoinette?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Kaya. I remember months and months ago, and you said to me, I want to do these, I wanted to have these conversations. And she says, you're going to be the first one. And here we are, the first one.
Here we are.
So much gratitude, and I'm so happy to be here and excited. And it's just such an honor to be part of this. And you're a very dear friend and a soul sister, and we haven't known each other for a long time, but we've been through a lot together.
Yes.
So I'm really, really, really happy to be here. So I'm Antoinette. I have my own practice called To Become One. And I started this 2 years ago when I became a Reiki practitioner. So I call myself, and I'm not one for labels, but you sort of, this 3D life, sort of kind of like you need to put something somewhere. So I call myself an intuitive healer. And then I added the bit about soul mentor, because to me, it's all about aligning with your soul. So basically, I work intuitively and I receive guidance, and I have a nice little toolbox, which is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, of all these techniques and modalities that I can use. So I do chakra balancing, oral work, working with archangels, numerology, energy alignment, all that sort of kind of thing. So I just work purely with guidance, and the client will receive what they need to receive. So very blessed to do the work that I do. And yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Thank you, Antoinette. So I want to talk a little bit before we go into what we talk about today, about this talk show and how this came to me, or I come to this now. I had a reading by a really lovely and powerful astrologer. Is it right, Antoinette?
Astrologer.
Thank you.
Astrologist. Yeah, astrologist. It's fine. They get the drift.
Thank you. It's Polina Outkina. I will write her contact in the description box, as well as Antoinette as well. It was in 2018 I had this reading by her, and she told me that I will have a talk show. And at this point, I was for a long time searching for my soul purpose, and it was so, yes. It was such a beautiful idea. And then for sure my head come in and said, yeah, but how and why? And I need a producer, I need a studio, I need a camera team. I work in the film business. So I said, okay, I have the contacts and I want it perfect, for sure. And not do it by myself on YouTube, as we do today. For sure not. For sure not at all like this. And this idea was growing, and it was really it was always so sparkling in myself, and a quietness at the same time to do this. Inviting beautiful people, talking about different subjects, topics, what's on. And then I started last year the Lightworkers Call to Duty program with Antoinette. We met there, participant. At this moment, having no clue what I will do, just knowing I will do this program to do whatever I'm meant to be. Yes.
And I had the same.
Yes, for you the same. But you just were out at that moment, and I was so okay.
Yeah, I was already out of the closet, so to speak.
Yeah.
The spiritual closet. Yeah.
And I discovered on this way my gifts or talent, and they are more and more coming up. And the last thing coming up was that I create soul stones, and it was in a really powerful, amazing session with Antoinette, where we tapped in a past life. And so I can say, Antoinette, it's not just a dearest friend of mine, a soul sister. I'm so happy that we met, and a powerful healer, really amazing. We swapped a lot of sessions in between. So, and we had a conversation, I think 2 weeks ago, we met and we talked about different concepts and ideas of relationships. And in between this conversation, I said, Antoinette, we should have recorded this. We should have, this has to go out. And this was the impulse for me to say, okay, now I start this talk show. And I ask you if you are ready to be my first guest. And if you like to talk about different kinds of relationships. And we fix this day today to make the talk show. I'm really excited. I'm nervous. I'm happy. And now we had a little conversation before I hit the record bottom. I'm nervous. And in this conversation, something was coming up, and we decided to switch the topic because this is on at the moment. And this is interesting because for me, it's beautiful to have this openness and saying, okay, we had the idea to talk about relationships, and we will do another talk. I know that about this topic. But what was coming up today, Antoinette, really hard, is our need of our outer validation. And we still have. Even when we worked a lot. And it is coming up for sure in relationships where it's shown to us. Do you want to talk a bit how this was going on for you at the moment?
Thank you, Kai. So, like Kai said, so we started talking about this, and then you guys, you know what? We just need to record. This needs to go out. Let's just like, you know, we can talk for hours. We can, and we can. Believe me, we can. We have. But yeah, we were talking about external validation, and for me personally, the need for external validation has been what I call, I guess, a block, in that for the majority of my life I have, and I still do, I mean, I'm getting better at it, and, you know, working through the layers and you know, allowing things to come up. And as I've expressed before, I believe during these times we are being really pushed to go to the core of our wounds, the core of where our blocks are. You know, there isn't any more time for us to spend out here peeling the layers of the onion. We need to, you know, we've already done that, and they've given us a few years to do that, but now it's like coming, okay, let's just expose them, the core wound. Mm-hmm. So for me personally, validation, external validation has been one of my core wounds. And what I can express is that for me, that wound is linked to a lot of other wounds. Things like abandonment, guilt, shame, not being enough, self-worth, self-esteem issues. So it comes from and is linked to a lot of those other feelings, wounds. So, yeah, we can cover a lot of different, I guess, by talking about the need for external validation, you know, it opens up a lot of other topics. So mm-hmm. I think if we can put it under that heading, mm-hmm. I think a lot of people will be able to relate to, yes, I felt abandonment, I have felt, you know, guilt, I felt shame, I felt not good enough and not worthy enough,
not seen.
And so, you know, yeah, and when we feel those feelings, it's because we don't value ourselves enough. We need somebody else to tell us how good we are.
Yeah,
Or how
and we give up our power again once more. I know this by myself so well that I just had this relationship what ended last year, and I was so fighting to be seen finally. And I still do. It's not so I'm in contact with a man, and I still wish that one day he will see me. And what I avoid is to come back to myself and say, because this is a message in it, see yourself, kind. First, see yourself.
Love yourself. Like, you know, don't give that power of your own self-worth away for somebody else to validate. Easier said than done.
Absolutely.
For sure. And then we get to that we lower our own self-worth because somebody else is not validating us in the way that we want them to. But the thought is, okay, then why can't I validate myself rather than want to be seen or treated or appreciated, or for some particular words to be said in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I guess it all comes from this void that we have either experienced in this lifetime or in previous lifetimes, or some sort of ancestral pattern that has just repeated after generation to generation to generation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, we just can't.
I can tell by myself that I think I carry this wound since lifetimes, and I have chosen really the perfect parents to remember me, to remind me to.
Absolutely, so have I.
Don't see me at all.
And the opportunity was shown to us, and we said, oh yes, we shall pick that one.
Yeah, this couple is perfect. They will not see me.
They will not see me, they will not hear me, they will not recognize me, they will not validate me.
They haven't experienced this by themselves. They are not able to give it. Perfect. I take them. Yes.
Of course. Sold. Bang. No negotiation needed.
No. No.
And that's what we've done, because we've taken that on that soul level. We've taken that contract. We've made that agreement that yes, I'm going to choose that family. I'm going to choose that family dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
or not only just the parents, but the dynamic itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to choose that culture. I'm going to choose that religion. I'm going to choose that perhaps even location in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is all the boxes that we consider.
Absolutely.
And why do we do this?
Tell me.
I often ask myself that question, as we all do. But why do we do this? And we did this for a higher purpose.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, we did this for a higher purpose because we chose to experience this so that we could stop the pattern from continuing.
This is good that you bring up this, because this is, I know by myself that I often lose the sight of that. I'm in the experience, in the pain.
Yeah.
Choose the victim. So why these parents? Didn't I deserve better? Why this relationship? And
yeah.
And this is when I get stuck, for sure. Oh, it's also important to bring up the emotions, for sure, and the hidden feelings and the hidden wounds, and to be in contact with this, and then something can move, and then step out again and see this bigger picture for what this is needed. And definitely. To be reminded on What do you want from the other one? You want the other one to see you, to validate you. You can do it by yourself. This is a reminder.
And many reminders come. And more reminders come. And it's you know, for me today, and this is why we decided to actually swap the conversation and talk about it, because beautiful Kaya was supporting me and listening to me. And today I felt that need for validation has come right there in its many forms, and it's helped me to once again revisit the wound of, why do I need external validation? Why can't I appreciate myself? Why can't I love myself? Why is it so important for, and I guess for me, it's a relationship. I'm in the context of a relationship I'm talking today. Why do I need that other person when I know, why do I need that other person to actually say something to me that or treat me in a certain way or highlight something, when deep in my soul I know that's how that person feels about me, and deep in my heart I know that's how that person feels about me. But why it's this need for this human, physical, literal validation in terms of words or actions.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we start swaying away from our spiritual existence and back to our physical existence, in that we need something concrete. We need something, and for me it's a form of attachment or dependency of the humankind. I was going to say, that's the word that wants to come out. So that's the word that's coming out, of the humankind. And this is one of the topics that we'll be talking about in the relationship that we had. Kara and I have spoken about this before. It's this need for this to make something material, to make something literal, to make something concrete. Because in our 3D human existence and understanding, in our human existence, we have attachment.
Absolutely. And then what's coming up for me, when you're in a relationship and you don't feel seen by your counterpart, your partner, you're confronted nearly every day with this topic. You're triggered constantly. And as humans, the first thing is, how can we stop it? Yeah, the other one has to see us, finally understand. And so we have to tell him or her what he has to see in us.
We have to spell it out. We have to make them listen. We have to make them listen.
And we want the other one to change.
We do.
For sure. I know that very well.
I'm there today. I have to admit, I have to be honest. And we talked about this, and for you guys out there that are listening, I hope this is resonating, because and I think I speak for Kaya here too, we really want to be as honest as we can, because we want to be able to reach everyone and know that, you know what, we relate, we get it.
Yeah, but I think what's interesting in this process of again going to the other one, wanting him to change, to see us finally, it's another way to abandon ourselves. Because then all these energy and the thinking, and how can I make him or her finally see me, is reaching out to the other person. And it's at the end, it's like a repetition of your trauma. You abandon yourself like you have been abandoned by your parents or whatever happened in your childhood. Instead of saying, okay, wow, I wish really the other one would see me. And
I really wish the other one.
Being honest with this as well. And saying, yes, but I have no control over the other person. And then for sure what's coming in, then the next thing is, okay, let go of this. Well, easy said. I'm in a relationship with a person. I don't want to lose him or her. Then another fear is stepping in. And there's so many layers. Then the abandonment wound is coming in, or it's a challenge. It's a process.
And this is how I can see that so many different wounds that a lot of us carry, and I probably would say all of us carry to some degree, are so interconnected. Because one wound will feed another wound, will feed another wound, will make you feel another emotion, will make you feel another emotion. And validation is such I guess it's such a wonderful word that I think encapsulates all of those things. And the part when you said that, I really love when you said about you abandon yourself, because in that moment of you desperately needing that external validation, you haven't seen yourself, you haven't honored yourself, you haven't respected yourself. And you can't during that process, you are giving another part of your power away to someone else. Again. Each time you do it, you are doing it over and over again. And it becomes a pattern.
I think the pattern is already there.
It inherited, yeah.
But we validate the pattern instead of validate ourselves, our true nature, our beauty, our talents, our true being.
Yes.
And it's hard work to step out of this cycle. So the first thing is to see it. And then you say, okay, I see what I do, but I still repeat it.
I know what I do, but I'll take it on board, and then the next time comes and you do it again.
Yeah. And for me, one important step is to see this little lost child person in ourselves who is so in need of validation, and to honor this need of validation as well, and not to say I don't need validation, because that's not true, and to give it to ourselves. And to love ourselves with this need of validation, but not to give the power away to other people or situations or clicks on YouTube, on Instagram, or things like that.
Or likes or comments. And, it's allowing, I think the key is allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to know that it's okay that you want external validation.
Absolutely.
Because in that process of, and I suppose I did this for many, many years, I didn't give myself permission to feel it, because the conditioned belief was that you can't feel that, because, and then you're going to feel guilt, you're going to feel shame, you can't, I recently had a revelation during COVID that about the ancestral pattern. And my parents have both passed on, and I still had a lot of wounding around my mother. It was from my mother, probably more than my father, that I inherited all those ancestral beliefs, whether they be cultural, religious, taught conditioning. And I didn't give myself permission to realize that a lot of it was inherited. A lot of it was learnt from my mother, and then from her mother, and the maternal, particularly with the maternal line with me. So I had a revelation during COVID that I had to give myself permission to realize the gift that my mother had given me, and the gift that I had given myself, that even though I seeked and craved external validation from her, that the reason why all of this happened is the reason that I signed up for this. I was to be the one that was going to stop this pattern from continuing. And when that finally came to light, I gave myself permission to still be angry at her and not feel the guilt of, she's your parent, you cannot be angry at her, you need to respect her. And then comes in also the conditioning of the fact that she's passed on. So you can't speak ill of the people that have passed. And I decided that, you know what? I'm going to give myself permission to do this.
It's so beautiful. You know what's coming up for me when you talk about permission, that you validate your own feelings. That this is,
I took my power back.
Yeah, and you validate what you have felt and what's your truth. And
absolutely, I acknowledged, I gave myself permission, I gave myself the respect that I deserve, and I allowed myself to go there and say, yes, I wasn't happy that you did this, I wasn't happy that you did that. And what made it even more powerful was this revelation came on her birthday this year.
Perfect. Beautiful.
And it was and Kai, you probably remember, it was a new moon in Taurus.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a new moon, not a full moon. It might have one or the other. And I have a Taurus moon.
Yeah.
I believe it was a new moon, I think.
It was a new moon, yeah.
And it happened on that day. And my mother has been now passed for 7 years. And each birthday, I put a post up on Facebook to honour her and to respect her. And you know what? That day, I just didn't feel like it. And it was the first time since her passing that I haven't done it. And I sat there instead and meditated and cried and purged and gave myself permission.
And you honored what was there for you, not to follow this concept of birthday post on Facebook.
Yep.
And this is giving yourself validation for me. It's self-love, it's respecting yourself, seeing what's on for you on this day, and not saying, okay, I gave out a post every year, I will do this here again. So no, this time it's not right.
It wasn't. It didn't feel right.
To come a bit in this, what can we do to validate ourselves, to love ourselves? These are the little steps. And then, okay, the next trigger is coming up. Yippee, we have this relationship. The man, the woman doesn't see us. Yay, what can we do to validate ourselves there?
They're stepping
It's
it
not
up.
over.
We need to step it up. Oh, haven't I already dealt with this? Oh no, this is on a different level again.
Yeah, but see, see also the work you already have done and honor this and validate yourself in this.
And I think it was important, you know, it was coming for me to share that.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was important. And now today I'm now hit another obstacle.
Beautiful.
Very diplomatic word. Let's call it an opportunity rather than an obstacle.
Invitation. Beautiful.
Opportunity to be able to dig deep again and find that respect and take back that piece of power that I have given for the need to be validated or to be told or to appreciated, or in whatever form it might take, from your husband, your partner, your wife, your significant
family,
other,
cousin, your chef, your children,
employer, it can be anything.
follower on Instagram.
Like on Instagram, how many views your video got, all that type of thing. You know what? Reward yourself that you did it.
Yes. And just, I found so beautiful one thing you told to me when we spoke before this conversation, that when you went out with your story and all this, if you just can touch one person on earth or just support one person to share their story, to go on the healing journey, then your purpose is fulfilled in a way.
Yeah.
And maybe we can go further, even when we can't touch anybody else, but touch ourselves and heal ourselves, then the purpose is fulfilled.
Absolutely. And have, and have that respect and gratitude to yourself that you are even able to speak your story.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the biggest, that is such a huge thing to come. It took me a lot of years to be able to speak my story. A lot of years of silence. But when I came to the point that I realized that I had to share it, and now that you bring it up, I wanted to be able to share it to help others, but it was also so healing for myself.
Yes. And to honor that, how the step, you know it, I know it, and I think there are a lot of people out there who had already done the step, and a lot who are not at the moment on this point to step out. Not, it doesn't have to be on Facebook and in public media, but in a relationship with a partner or with family, and to speak the truth, and how this is an act of so deep self-love and validating our own truth and owning our power.
Yeah.
And
it's
a
very big step towards freedom, self-freedom.
Yes. And it's huge. It's a challenge, and it's really, it takes a lot of courage. I know this by myself. and to give this gift to ourselves.
And to see the gift in the adversity that you've experienced is the biggest validation that you could give yourself. no other external validation is going to come close. But to give yourself the gift of speaking your truth is by far, it's priceless. You cannot receive that type of empowerment from someone else, even though we believe we can.
These are belief systems implanted. So I think this is a beautiful closing final sentence, because we have 30 minutes now, and I just want to take this, I have this conversation short, not too long.
Yep.
You want to share something at the end. You have to say something. You want to give out something.
You know what? Respect yourself enough to respect yourself.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Antoinette. It was a pleasure as always. Thank you, everybody out there to watch
Thank
this.
you for watching.
Yes, if you like to leave a comment to validate us, our first talk, we will be happy. And if you start to validate yourself, we will be even more happy.
And please, if you feel that you want to share, if this has resonated with you at all, please know that this is a safe space, you know, to share and to take that step. You know, you don't have to do it on public. You can do it on private if you wish, you know, and just know that we hear you, we see you. Thank you, Kai.
And yes, thank you, Antoinette. This is beautiful. And to give yourself the gift of going out with your truth, step by step as you can. It's a way. Nobody goes out with the whole truth. It's just making experiences. It's a way.
It's a process.
Wow, perfect. Thank you very much. I have planned a second talk already with Zara from Guidance by That. At the moment, the topic is conscious parenting. Maybe this will change as well. We will see what will happen then. And thank you, Antoinette. You will come back here, I hope, and we talk about relationships or whatever is on in that moment.
I would love to. Thank you.
You will find all, because I can also say Antoinette is really gifted and powerful and amazing healer. I call you healer now, of light worker who can support you on your healing way. You will find all the information in the description box to find her, my services as well. And I wish you the best, and with validating yourself, speaking your truth, loving yourself no matter what. And I say goodbye.